Part 1. In 2025, a beloved Philly cheesesteak spot closed its doors to the public. This iconic eatery had been serving up delicious cheesesteaks for years. The closure was met with shock and sadness from fans of the restaurant. Many wondered what led to the decision. After some investigation, it became clear that the owner decided to retire. The restaurant will miss being a part of the community. Its legacy lives on through its famous cheesesteaks. The spot is now closed, but memories remain. The story of this iconic Philly cheesesteak spot serves as a reminder of the importance of preserving our national dishes. Part 2. In the late 19th century, oysters were considered a delicacy in many parts of the United States. However, this perception changed rapidly as public health concerns and cultural anxieties took hold. The oyster's reputation was further tarnished by its association with poverty and disease. Many cities implemented health regulations to control the sale and consumption of oysters. These measures led to increased costs for restaurants and ultimately contributed to a decline in their popularity. Furthermore, social norms around food played a significant role in shaping public opinion about oysters. The rise of middle-class values and the growing concern for personal hygiene also influenced people's attitudes towards this food. As a result, oysters became increasingly stigmatized and lost their former status as a luxury item. The shift away from oyster consumption was largely driven by these cultural and economic factors. In conclusion, the late 19th century saw a significant change in public perception of oysters, leading to their decline in popularity. This story highlights the complex interplay between food, culture, and history. Part 3. Cranberry sauce is a sweet and tangy condiment made from cranberries, sugar, and water. The history of cranberry sauce dates back to ancient times when Native Americans would dry cranberries in the sun to preserve them for later use. In the 17th century, European colonizers adopted this practice and began using it as a way to make cranberries more palatable. Cranberry sauce quickly became a staple at American Thanksgiving tables. The original recipes were often made with just cranberries, sugar, and water, but over time, various ingredients like orange zest and cinnamon were added. Today, cranberry sauce is enjoyed not only in the United States but also around the world. Many people enjoy it as a side dish during the holidays or as a topping for yogurt or oatmeal. Despite its popularity, cranberry sauce remains a relatively simple ingredient. The key to making great cranberry sauce is using fresh and high-quality ingredients. By following this recipe, you can create a delicious and authentic cranberry sauce at home. Part 4. Oysters have been a staple in American cuisine for centuries, but their history is more complex than you might think. The origin of oyster consumption in America dates back to the 18th century when French colonists brought their love for oysters to the New World. However, it was not until the Civil War that oysters became a symbol of wealth and status. Before then, they were considered a poor man's food. The demand for oysters skyrocketed during the war, leading to overfishing and depletion of wild oyster populations. To address this issue, oyster farming became a viable alternative. Today, oysters are farmed in many parts of the country, providing a sustainable source of this beloved dish. Despite their rich history, oysters continue to face challenges such as water pollution and disease. Efforts are being made to protect these iconic bivalves and preserve their place in American cuisine. By understanding the surprising truth about oysters in America, we can appreciate the complexity of our national dish history. Part 5. In the rich culinary history of New Orleans, gumbo stands out as a quintessential dish that embodies the city's cultural melting pot. This iconic stew has been passed down through generations, with each family adding their unique twist to create an unparalleled flavor experience. One key ingredient often overlooked is the secret ingredient inside. Let's explore what makes it so special and how you can incorporate it into your own gumbo recipe. A pinch of magic happens when you add a dash of cayenne pepper, which not only adds heat but also enhances the overall depth of flavor. The key to an authentic New Orleans-style gumbo is balancing these flavors without overpowering the dish. By combining dark roux, tender meat or seafood, and a medley of spices, including thyme, oregano, and cayenne, you create a harmonious symphony of flavors. What sets our recipe apart from others? It starts with using high-quality ingredients, such as andouille sausage and fresh vegetables, which add natural sweetness and texture to the dish. With these simple steps and attention to detail, you can elevate your gumbo game and become a master chef in your own kitchen. The possibilities are endless when it comes to experimenting with different combinations of spices and ingredients, so don't be afraid to get creative. By following our recipe and adding that secret ingredient inside, you'll be well on your way to making authentic New Orleans-style gumbo that will impress even the most discerning palates. Part 6. High-quality ground beef in a brown skillet is a staple of many dishes, but there's one common mistake that can make all the difference. Overcooking it can result in dry, tough meat. To fix this, try cooking your ground beef to the right temperature. Use a thermometer to ensure the internal temperature reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't press down on the meat with your spatula while it's cooking, as this can squeeze out juices and make it dry. Instead, let it cook undisturbed until it's browned and cooked through. This will help retain moisture and flavor. For a juicy burger patty, use 20% fat ground beef. You can also add aromatics like onions, garlic, or herbs to the skillet for added flavor. Finally, don't overmix your meat when forming patties, as this can make them dense and dry. By following these tips, you'll be on your way to cooking perfect ground beef every time. Part 7. The story of French macaroni and cheese is a fascinating one, full of twists and turns that challenge our perceptions of this beloved dish. For centuries, it has been attributed to the French, but recent historical research suggests otherwise. In reality, the origins of macaroni and cheese are more complex and multifaceted than we might have thought. One of the earliest known recipes for a pasta and cheese dish was found in Italy, dating back to the 13th century. This ancient recipe from Sicily featured small tubular pasta called macaroni, served with a rich and creamy sauce made from cheese, butter, and spices. As Italian immigrants traveled to France, they brought their own versions of macaroni and cheese recipes with them. Over time, these recipes evolved and merged with French cuisine, resulting in the dish we know today. Despite its Italian roots, French macaroni and cheese has become an iconic part of French culinary heritage. The combination of pasta, cheese, and rich sauce is a match made in heaven, and it's easy to see why this dish has been a staple of French cuisine for centuries. Part 8. In Japan, sushi is a staple food, but have you ever heard of a sushi burrito? This dish might sound unusual, but it's actually really tasty and easy to make. The secret ingredient that makes it special is the use of nori seaweed sheets instead of traditional sushi rice. Nori adds a smoky flavor and a nice crunch to the dish. To start, you'll need some cooked rice, nori sheets, and your favorite fillings such as salmon or avocado. Simply wrap the ingredients in a nori sheet and roll it up into a burrito shape. The result is a sushi burrito that's both familiar and exotic. This recipe is perfect for adventurous eaters who want to try something new. With just a few ingredients, you can create this unique dish at home. Part 9. Axton's meatloaf is a beloved national dish in Canada, but have you ever wondered where it came from? This rich history story takes us back to the early 20th century. Meet Henry J. Axton, a Canadian entrepreneur who created this iconic recipe. He was inspired by his travels and experiences as a butcher. The original recipe included beef, pork, and vegetables, but over time it evolved into the meatloaf we know today. Axton's meatloaf is more than just a dish, it's a symbol of Canadian heritage. Let's dive deeper into its fascinating history. From its humble beginnings to its current popularity, this story will leave you hungry for more. Get ready to be surprised by the surprising history behind Axton's famous meatloaf.